I'm CJ Flanders, and this is Terry Wood. Now, we know how important your vehicle is to your life. Getting to work, running errands, fun with friends and family. At times, it seems like your vehicle's the center of your universe. And when something goes wrong with it, well, it can be stressful and even a little intimidating.
Oh, that is so true. So CJ and I are going to help you feel more comfortable with the whole auto service and repair process. From how to find the right service center to what to expect when you arrive. And we're even going to have a look behind the scenes at what goes on inside those service bays.
You know, finding the right service facility is critical. For me, it's really important to find a business I can trust. I want to know that they're concerned about my safety and about my pocketbook. Terry, what are some of the things that people should look for as they select a shop?
Well, competence. That's extremely important. So whether you're scanning the yellow pages or searching online, always look for shops that employ ASE certified technicians. This shows that the technicians take their training seriously and have passed tests to demonstrate their skills.
Also, the Car Care Council, a nonprofit industry association, has shop locators on their website, carcare.org.
One tried and true way to find a service facility is to ask your friends, your coworkers, or your relatives for a recommendation. And also these days, many shops have websites that list their areas of specialty. While you're searching, look for a service center that does a lot of work with vehicles like yours. For example, a shop that specializes in Asian imports may not be the best place to take that big old diesel pickup.
Okay, so that triggers a question. A lot of my friends have asked me when they should go to a dealership as opposed to an independent service center. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, you need to know there's a law, the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act. This law says you don't have to go to a dealership or use a manufacturer's particular brand of parts or fluids to maintain your vehicle warranty. Your neighborhood service facility employs trained and qualified technicians and uses state-of-the-art diagnostic and repair equipment. And here's an important point. Independent repair shops are typically less expensive than dealerships and are usually more conveniently located.
That's really good to know. Okay, so now that we know how to find the right service and repair facility, what should consumers expect when we get there?
Well, tell you what, let's go inside and we'll take a look.
Now this is what I like to see, clean and neat. A clean waiting area and restroom tells me that the service center takes pride in its work.
And did you notice there's some ASC certificates on the wall?
Yeah, I saw those. Now, tell me, what can I expect when I come in for a service or repair?
Well, first, the service consultant at the check-in desk is going to listen to you. He or she wants to know what your concerns are and gather as many clues as possible to help identify and fix the problem.
Like unusual sounds, vibrations or smells, check engine light, things like that?
Exactly, things like that. Just describe the symptoms and let them find the problem and cure. And whether you've come in for a simple oil change or a more extensive repair, expect a courtesy inspection to see if there are any other concerns.
Now, Terry, that's when a customer can get nervous. Hey, I admit that I'm worried about having to spend more money than I'd planned and maybe doing something that really doesn't need to be done.
Well, CJ, that's natural. I kind of find it helps me to think of it like going to the doctor. I love it when I get a clean bill of health at my annual physical. The doctors have run routine tests and they perform diagnostics. They call it preventive medicine. Now, at a repair facility, it's called preventive maintenance. Your vehicle inspection is a lot like that. First, the technician looks at what maintenance services your vehicle manufacturer has recommended for your mileage and reminds you of what should be done. Then a visual inspection can identify leaks, worn belts or hoses, even the suspension or alignment problems. All those things that, if you take care of them right away, can prevent costlier repairs later. Now, an important part of what a service advisor or shop owner or technician does is help prioritize which items need to be taken care of right away for safety reasons or because they can lead to immediate damage. They then look at what can safely be put off to next month to help with your budget.
Well, that's a really helpful approach. My friends usually like to do research and really appreciate someone taking the time to clearly explain the services they need and why, but I confess I'm sometimes too intimidated to ask questions because I don't want to look stupid.
No, CJ, you're not going to look stupid. Consumers should always ask questions. Again, it's like going to the doctor. There's all that jargon and diagnosis, and the repair can get pretty technical. But the person you're dealing with at the service center wants you to clearly understand what's being recommended and for you to be comfortable enough to ask questions.
All right, I'll speak up. Now, Terry, you mentioned diagnostics. My service center charges for diagnostic services. Is that pretty common?
You know, it really is. Modern cars these days are very sophisticated mechanically, and they can have as many as 6 or more onboard computers. Diagnosing a problem can be time-consuming and require some pretty expensive equipment. Now, I keep going back to this doctor analogy, but it really fits. You pay for a doctor visit to start your diagnostic process. You may require additional tests to get to the bottom of a problem. Now, we understand that you'll be paying for all of this. The same is true for automotive diagnosis.
That makes sense. So now I have a diagnosis. Let's say the repair requires some replacement parts. Where are you getting the parts, and how will I know that they're right for my vehicle?
Trust that technician. You trust the technician to help you make the right decision. Because auto parts come from a variety of sources and in a variety of price ranges, the technician or shop owner or even the manager will use several factors to help you decide on the right part at the right price for your particular need. When selecting the appropriate part, you should consider the age of your vehicle, how long you expect to keep it, and how you expect to use it. For example, you may have a newer vehicle that you plan to keep for a few years. Well, you'll probably want to purchase a premium part with longer life and better performance. However, if you plan on selling or trading in your older car soon, a less expensive part would make more sense. Now, whether the part is from the car manufacturer, which they call OE for original equipment, or from an aftermarket manufacturer, all of the parts meet strict specifications. In fact, aftermarket parts typically exceed OE quality, and you know what? They're often less expensive.
Well, that's good to know. Okay, let's shift gears for a minute, Terry, and talk about preventive maintenance. What's preventive maintenance, and why is it so important?
Well, a preventive maintenance, CJ, includes all those service items that the vehicle manufacturer has scheduled for you to do to make your vehicle last longer and to make it cheaper to operate. You know how your dentist reminds you to come in every 6 months for a cleaning and a checkup? Well, this is the same concept. Your technician goes down the checklist from your owner's manual and takes care of things like the oil changes and the tire rotations just as they're scheduled. You're preventing breakdowns and making your vehicle last longer, just like getting your teeth cleaned at the dentist helps prevent cavities.
So what sorts of things does the factory recommend?
Well, all those things like topping off brake and power steering fluid, antifreeze and transmission and differential fluid too. Most of these fluids have a recommended interval for changing. Now, of course, the car company recommends checking a number of things to see if they need attention, like the wheel alignment, the belts and the hoses, the wiper blades, the battery, the lights, the turn signals, the brake suspension, tires, all those kind of things.
So do all of these items have a recommended service interval? And what are some typical intervals?
You know, most items are either specifically listed for scheduled service in the owner's manual or listed to be inspected at a certain interval. Specific intervals vary by vehicle, but what a lot of people don't know is that how and where you drive can actually affect your service schedule. For example, your owner's manual might recommend an oil change at 5,000 miles under normal driving conditions. But there's also what's called a severe service schedule, and that may recommend changing your oil at, say, 3,000 miles if you do a lot of stop-and-go driving or short trips, or if you're hauling heavy loads and driving in hot and dusty conditions. Everyone falls somewhere on the scale between normal and severe service intervals, so talk with your service advisor about how you drive, and he'll help you determine when you should get these various services done.
Okay, so it's time to get my keys back. I understand what's been done and why. They took my vehicle for a test drive to make sure that my original problem has been corrected. We have a plan for taking care of anything that couldn't be done today, and I've been alerted to maintenance items coming due in the near future. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about my visit. So, what's next?
Well, before you go, if your service advisor hasn't already discussed the parts and labor warranty with you, ask about it. The parts used in your repair will have a warranty from the manufacturer that can vary depending on the part and the manufacturer. You'll want to understand that. You'll also want to be clear on the labor warranty for your repair. And if you have any problem at all with the repair, please call the shop immediately and give them a chance to correct it right away. Repair shop businesses do want to fix things right the first time, but if there's a problem, they want to correct it just as quickly as possible.
Thanks so much, Terry. I hope we've been able to help you feel more comfortable with taking your vehicle in for service and repair. It's really important to find a service center that you trust to keep your family safe and your vehicle running properly.
And that's why technicians will always remind you to follow your factory scheduled maintenance routine. I'd much rather see you in the shop 3 times a year for routine service than coming in on a big tow truck with a big repair.
For more car care tips, visit carcare.org. We wish you safe and happy motoring.